night, good night, good night, good night. Hi, good night, everybody. You're used to hearing me say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. But it's nighttime and it's a very special edition of the Living Room Prayer Chronicles. Come on in, come on in, come on in. And wherever you are coming on in from, just drop some comments wherever you are. If you're tuning in on YouTube or Periscope, just drop some comments. We're going to get started officially in like a minute or so. But I just wanted to come on like a minute and a few seconds before time to just welcome you guys. Make sure everybody grabs their drink. I hope it's like a drink of water or a cup of hot cocoa, wherever you're viewing from, or something like that. All right, because we don't encourage other types of drinking on this forum. You know what I mean? Good night, Dapper for Life. How are you? Good to see you, Miss Nat. But yeah, grab your good night, good evening, Miss Roberts. I can't really see the face, but it's so good to see ya. So grab your drinks, grab your roti if you're eating this hour of the night. Good night, Mentor 43. Come on in, you guys. Grab whatever, share this, tag somebody, send this out, and tell them, come on in. We are going into a very, very interesting chat tonight. You're gonna love it. Good night, Miss Stevens, Miss Tasha. Hola, hola, hola. Good to see you guys tonight. It's gonna be interesting. I have three dynamic millennials. I think they all are millennials, and they have a very great chemistry together. We're going to be talking tonight about friendship. And in this time that we are in, it's pandemic. It's sometimes, oh, C.E. Roberts is Jackie. Oh, all right, Jackie. So good to see you. Good night. Good night. In this time of pandemic, in this time of some people call it a pandemonium. It's just a lot that's happening, a lot of wear and tear on our emotions if we would just be honest to talk about it. It's a lot that's happening. And so the relationships that we are in really, really helps for us to navigate this time. So they're going to talk about their friendship. And good night, Miss Marcia, Aunt Marcia. Good to see you. They're going to talk about their friendship. Listen, when they get together, it's a wrap, okay? They cut up sometimes, so you're just going to see a whole lot of we don't know. But they're going to bring it tonight. We're just going to have a great discussion. Good evening, Diane. How are you? We're going to have a great discussion. So I want you to drop your comments in, questions. Good evening, Elita. How are you? Drop your question, your comments in the chat. And just before I bring them on, I need to say this really quickly, and then I'm going to get out of the way and have them just chat. And we're going to talk a little bit about relationships and specifically friendships. Excuse me, but there's something I need for us to do tonight, if you will. Now, I have been talking with someone recently because, as I mentioned before, this is a special edition of the Living Room Prayer Chronicles. Every Monday to Friday at 5:30 in the mornings, I'm usually here on these platforms, and I am praying, not by myself. I'm coming together with a few people, and we are praying over this nation, praying over the nations of the earth. And while we are praying, at the same time, we're also believing God to work miracles. And so I connected with someone and found out that she was diagnosed with cancer. And, during that time as well, when she went into surgery, she lost her job, has a big family. Her husband as well was affected with COVID-19 and losing stepping back from his job a little bit, but he just returned to his job a few weeks ago. So I'm saying all of that to say, I want to support this person and I have committed to doing that. But I said to myself, if I give $20 and somebody has the ability to give five, that 25 is more than my 20 that I could give. So tonight we are just want I just wanted to open this up to you to be able to be a blessing to that individual. So her Cash App information is going to be in the comments. So anybody who wants to donate, it's not going to Andrea Thomas, not at all. It's going to this particular family, and I have to leave her anonymous. So we put that Cash App together just to be a blessing to her, and that information is going to be in the chat. All right. That said, let me bring them on one by one and have you hear from them. Hey, y'all. Good night.
Hi.
Hi.
All right. It's so good to see you all. So good that I have the opportunity to hang out with you guys tonight. This is going to be a treat. I can't wait for everybody to hear your stories. So, starting from the very top over there, yeah. Okay, see the students. We're gonna start from the top and then work our way around. Just introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and something about you. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa. Something about me. I love dancing. Not
You're dancing.
but I'm plain. I'm boring.
Wow. Whoa.
I'm sure your friends could say a little bit more about that, but yeah, okay. So from below you, below Melissa, go ahead.
That's me, right?
That's yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Okay.
Early.
My name is Latoya. Let's see. And I am in childcare, and I'm a director because I'm a boss. That's just what it is.
There you go. You're a boss. Gone, boss lady. Gone. All right. And this one below me, Lord have mercy.
You know what? Just because you said that, I'm going to be on my best behavior.
You think she can handle that tonight? Yeah.
Okay. Listen, you want the full government or you just want the first name?
It's up to you.
Okay. Just the first name. Just Sheba. I'm Sheba. And I enjoy music. I love all kinds of music, and dancing and singing, anything that involves music.
Okay. All right. Great. All right, ladies. So it's so good to have you guys on tonight. And like I told everyone in the introduction, you guys are all millennials, right? Born 1980 or 81 and after.
Wow.
Between 1980 and 1996, yes. So that's good. We want to be able to hear your perspective on a lot of things, but really I wanted to highlight your friendship tonight because so many people are going through a lot of things right now in the climate that we are going through. It's not just here in America, but really around the world. And I think having good friends or being in good relationships really help as you navigate through the times that we are living in. And so I just wanted you guys to share your stories tonight. She was acting up already, isn't she? Yeah, I know it. She can't help it. But I want to hear your story tonight. So jump in. I probably will direct one or two questions to either of you, but jump in wherever you can fit in. So how did you guys meet? Like, what's your story behind how you met and became friends?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Of course. Of course. Yes, I'm a boss. So I met both of these ladies from church, and I kind of met Melissa in school. We went to the same middle school, and we happened to run into each other at church, I think it was. And Melissa came up to me and Melissa's like, "Don't you go to the Wilson?" It's like, yeah. And that's kind of how it happened. I wasn't too fond of Melissa in the beginning. Have to be honest. I don't know what it was. My mother actually really loved Melissa, and I was like, not sure. But it just kept going, and here we are. Sheba, on the other hand, I actually was friends with her cousin, pretty fast, and I remember sitting in the church pew, sitting next to her cousin in front of Sheba, and I happened to ask her cousin, "Oh, well, how old is she?" Well, of course, Sheba turns around. "You can ask me yourself." I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "Who is this nasty attitude little girl? Like, who is she?" And that basically, our relationship kind of just went from there, and we clearly have stuck. So this is what it is.
Is that the same story? The way that she told that, is that the same way that you guys all remembered it? Sheba and Melissa?
Yeah, pretty much. I met Melissa. Yeah, church. Church. At church. Yes. Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
7th grade.
Oh, my goodness, you're gonna make us show our age.
That was 13, 14.
13, 14.
For me and Melissa, and Sheebs, you would have been like 7.
Gosh, I would have been somewhere close, not far.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
ahead. I would have been somewhere ahead, not far ahead.
Yeah.
Hi, Usha Halford. Nice having you tonight. Okay, so what?
Hi, Usha.
Okay, that's
them. Hey.
Okay. Hey. So what has sustained your friendship for these many years? What's held you guys together?
That's a really good question that I had a hard time thinking about, like, what has kept us together. I think, I don't want to keep being the talker here, but
well, I mean, hello.
Melissa and I went to college together after we were all obviously in different high schools. Melissa and I went to college together, and Sheba and Melissa will share about how their relationship started, kind of, whoever decides. That's not going to be me. Okay. And so then thereafter that, Sheba and I ended up living together after, before college, right? So Sheba and I were together, and then Melissa and I were together in college. And then that kind of just kept growing from there. And obviously church consistently connects us and keeps us together. So that's kind of how I believe we've always stuck together. I mean, we would always still communicate when we were separated or apart. We still stay connected.
And also, Latoya's house is always the house to go to. Her mother cooks for everybody. So we would all meet there for any kind of celebration, any kind of party, anything. We were always at her mother's house. So there was just we would all join at the hips, pretty much.
Yes. With my, the way I call them every single day. Yeah. I'm at the crack of dawn just to make sure they're okay. So, communicate.
Okay, so that's
yes.
Okay, that's good. So the communication has really sustained your friendship over the years. Being connected in the same place has kept you through the years, and being intentional, I guess, in meeting at some places, as Latoya mentioned or Melissa mentioned, one place, this is where everybody went to eat and stuff like that. So I think there was something else that I wanted to has there been anybody else as a part of your little trio, or was it just the three of you all the time? I saw a little eyes moving. What?
I mean, yeah, there were a few actually, right?
Well, yeah, like before
college,
friends because of all of the youth at church. That's really how we were all together. So it started from that, but then we three like branched off and like just stayed together.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Correct.
Okay. All right. So I mean, you guys maintain your friendship over the years, but was there any time that you had any type of falling out? Like, was there any time when there were tensions tempers flared, attitudes arose, and you guys had any type of falling out? Did that ever happen?
I can't remember. Well, I mean, except for the time Toya farted around me and we almost fought.
Oh my God. Oh my
Okay,
God. I remember that. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
You remember
that's
that?
true. I remember it
I
now.
was so mad.
I was so mad.
All that.
So mad.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, because she did something that she was supposed to do.
No, it's because Sheba is always still. She's a little less now, but she was always prim and proper. You can't belch, you can't pass air, you can't do any of that stuff. And so I had to break her, and I'm like, "This is what it is. Good luck."
No, she broke me in all right. My poor nose is still trying to recover.
And she's
So wait, that really made you upset?
oh my gosh, yes.
Yes.
She was so mad. So mad.
So you guys didn't really have any big blowout or big issue that
No, the only thing between Sheba and I, because our friend Sheba is a very loving person and she loves really hard. And especially when it comes to her friends, she loves really, really hard.
I do.
And Latoya and I were getting a little bit close and she didn't really like that. And so,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
yeah, I can't forget that.
I didn't really like Melissa to
Didn't
be
like me
her.
before either, right? So that would probably be one of our, I would say, between Sheba and I, that would be one thing that would have, come between us. Once Latoya was at school, then we got close, and then Latoya came back in, and then we were just like the three of us. I would say with Latoya and I, a break in communication happened once.
Yeah.
And that was like our little thing, and then we came back, we talked about it, and then been good.
And literally the next day, like I blew up and I was like, I know she's upset and crying somewhere. I already know that.
Yeah.
So
She's the crier. Melissa's
came
the
back.
crier.
Yeah, Melissa's the crier in the group.
Yes.
Oh,
Definitely.
literally the next day I was like, okay, I have to fix this because I know I blew up and I was mad, so I have to fix it. And with Sheba, I don't really feel like Sheba gets beyond as an adult. She's kind of the hard-headed one. She just does what she wants. She's just the beast of the group to some extent. And like, I think so it's funny because it kind of probably going to break into another conversation, but like, I feel like as we grew up and, we are starting to be interested in guys and dating guys and that kind of thing. And, as girls, we are always like, if anything comes between us, nothing will, we'll always trust each other. We'll always be here. And then real life happens and you're with your new person and, situations arise and you're like, hey, we always said we'd be here. And then, it's just like you're in a crossroad of places, right? Because now you're on a road of this is my best friend, my best girlfriend. I've been here forever, but now this is my man or whatever the case is. And so with that, it's a teetering situation where you don't want to necessarily, because we're talking about boundaries, you don't necessarily want to cross them, but at the same time, you're like, but we always said we would say, but then as we are maturing, we're getting older, it's not the same. And your relationships create a different dynamic. And, like Melissa says, Sheba loves hard. She loves sometimes overly hard where she just, is a lot and can be a lot.
I know this.
You just deal with her a lot sometimes, and it is what it is. But, we definitely all come from different places when it comes to us all getting married and those relationships and those dynamics and how that works and how you have to kind of not be so protective because Melissa is the one who got married last and we are at that place of relationship where you're like, I'm hovering over, I see something, if I see something, if I don't see something, like this isn't going to happen because we already know, so
I'm a bear.
So you
already know.
Crazy. You kind of hone in, all those feelings because, you have to let us all grow to be who we are. And you have to kind of learn those things. Although, we want to be protective of one another. It's still at the place where you're like, no, you've got to leave leave you some space to kind of grow and figure that out. And when you're ready to come, we'll talk about what I already saw.
I was going to say, she always says, whenever I call and I'm frustrated about something about Melissa or just in general, that's always her thing. Just whenever she's ready, she'll come back. Just let her be. Just let it be.
Okay, so there's like, in all the little chatting here, there are like 3 or 4 different things I wanted to punch on, right? So let me see which one I wanted to jump into and kind of dissect a little bit. Let's go with personalities. So somebody named the crier. So Melissa is the crier in the group.
Yes.
And then we have, who is Sheba? What is Sheba?
The protector.
Sheba is the protector.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fighter,
And
protector. Yeah.
the fighter and the protector. And Latoya, what's your role?
She's like the mama bear,
the counselor,
mentor,
all of the things.
Yes.
The boss.
So Mama Bear Latoya, I see it in the chat here. Somebody saying Mama Bear Latoya. You kind of hold things together, yeah?
I guess.
She usually for me, she's usually able when I go to her and I'm on level 10, you know, approaching 100, she's usually able to talk me down and get me to think logically and with some good common sense, because Lord knows, you know, and then I feel like, you know, even if it's not always that I am angry or, you know, if I'm hurt and I'm like confiding in her about something that hurts me to the core or whatever, she's also able to advise. And, you know, I usually by the end of our conversation, I'm like, okay, I feel better. Like, you know, what she says, it makes sense. You know, I'm able to think,
yeah,
you know, she's able to get me in a mental state of mind where I can actually be like, okay, it's all right.
Level-headed. And she's analytical, makes you think and makes, you know, analyze the whole situation. Let's come to an agreement on what we're going to do. All right, execute.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What I'm hearing, it's so beautiful to see that you guys kind of know each other, what you bring to the table, the dynamics each of you have, and how much you are able to respect each other. And I want to jump into the next piece I wanted to ask about boundaries. How do you deal with boundaries, or is it a thing in your friendship at all?
Well, I don't deal with boundaries. I pulled up at the house when both of them actually, married and unmarried, and Melissa being the newly married one. I did it, just this past summer?
Yes.
I just pulled up at the house.
Without having my address. She found me.
I did. Come on.
No, not
She's like a stalker, huh?
She has perfected it.
Listen, a protector has to know where she needs to be at all times without having to ask the question.
Deal with her if Sheba is not a person who deals with boundaries. Let's back up a little bit. Are boundaries, because is boundaries a thing in friendship? Because I was even challenged some time ago when in a friendship that I have, when I said I need me time, that person was like, what me time? We're friends. You know, I should be able to call you whenever I want to call you or talk to you whenever I want to talk to you. I'm like, no. So what do you think about that? Should boundaries be a thing in any type of relationship between a man and a woman? You guys are married now. It doesn't matter if it's like 2 years or 10 years. But what do you think about that? Should boundaries be in relationships, married relationships?
I think they're healthy to have, because, I mean, here coming from the one who, you know,
who doesn't know what they are.
I think I do kind of sort of now. No,
you've learned. I think over the years she's gotten better, but in the beginning of marriage for me, it was like,
I used to just pull up, but I think boundaries are very healthy.
You know, we're all adults here. I mean, like blocking stuff, like arrived. I'm like, whoa.
I used to be like, oh wait, were We are having a
Okay.
conversation.
And you know, and coming and you know, when your husband is drastically different, like drastically different than you, where he's not about having people over constantly, he's just like, it should just be us. And I'm like, nah, what is that? Like, it was tough in the beginning, and it was hard to balance, because at the time when I was married, you know, Sheba wasn't quite married yet. I think it was like a year after, right?
Yep.
And so then it
All
was
the
just
time in the
like,
world.
I had to learn, as you know, as and I was a new mother basically at, you know, shortly after, like when we were together, living together. And it was just like, I had to learn all of that fast forward. Like I had no idea what boundaries were, because like my husband is bothered with something, like we need to be doing X, Y, and Z, and you're just hanging out. And it's just like, this is what we do. I don't
Hello.
you know, like I had to learn that, and it's, you know, I had to balance that. But they're really, I feel like for me, boundaries are, we have them silently. I think it's like, you know, when Melissa shuts down, for instance, like that's
Yes.
a boundary. Like, you know, when she's done, her face is done, she's shut down.
Yep.
That's a boundary. It's like, we're not going to keep going. She's not hearing a thing you have to say at this point.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense. And, you know, Sheba just is. It just, Sheba just is. I don't know what else to say about that. But just is. It just is.
Whoa.
You know, like there isn't, and I can't say, you know, after years of growth and, you know, things within marriage, she doesn't like crazy pop up, you know, like she used to. And I also live further away. So I think that really didn't slow her down by any means.
Not at all.
It didn't slow her down at all. But it's just, you know, I think over time also our lives are filled up with children, and you know, both Sheba and Melissa have been huge supporters of helping me with my lot of children that I have. So you know, they're really, I don't think boundaries are like a thing that we've ever set up. I think we just kind of figured it out, and or the looks or the responses that we get from each other is like,
Okay.
what are you doing? And you know, in the beginning, Sheba really didn't understand those silent cues. You like really have to be direct with her sometimes. But I think over the years it's been a lot better with when it comes to those marriage boundaries.
Okay, Melissa, you want to weigh in on that? Should boundaries be a thing in relationships, and any type of relationships? And those of you who are tuning in, thanks for coming in. I hear kind of like
an echo.
Yeah, I don't know where that is coming from, but thank you guys for coming on in. If you have any comments, questions, especially what we're talking about here, boundaries in relationships, come on, put your 2 cents in. But Melissa, weigh in on this.
So yes, I think that there should be boundaries in relationships. With us specifically, I feel, since I'm the one who is the youngest married, they've been married, you know, many more years than I have. I personally feel like you should have your own space, your own time. Husband and wife, I'm single, so, you know, husband and wife need to have their time. But I'm the one who can, you know, move around and do whatever as much as I want, because, you know, I'm single, free, single, disengaged, or was. So with us and boundaries, I would say that we didn't have, it wasn't like as Latoya said, it wasn't like something that was set in stone or spoken. It was more of a silent thing. And we just took like each other's cues. Sheba, because I was, you know, single, Sheba would always just show up all the time, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, she would just show up. And, you know, because it's Sheba, like you're not going to get her to change at all. And so I always tell her that I try to get rid of her, but she doesn't want to leave. So
your sister.
I have to accept the fact that she's here. But, you know, obviously I love Sheba, but, you know, that's just with us. Like we don't have spoken boundaries. It's silent. We know, we read each other's cues and we just know.
Okay. So you've basically grown into it.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Here's the third thing I wanted to jump in on before I get to the next question that I have on paper, but just with the interaction, the different things that I just wanted to jump in on. So Sheba and Latoya, you guys were sounds like you were married a year apart, like a year from each other. One married this year, the next, and the other the next year. So, Melissa, how much longer from them were you married, and how was that transition for you, watching them get married?
How much
So, what's the
longer?
bit? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What, 2008 and 9?
So
Or
13 and
7 and
12.
8?
7 and 8.
7 and 8. So, and I'm 20. So, a very big gap.
Wow.
For me, for any single person, I would say you see all your friends getting married, and it's just like, okay, so am I gonna get married too? When is it gonna be my turn? They're having children, and it's like, am I gonna, when is it gonna be my turn?
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. Like, the feeling was there, but also, it was good. I enjoy all of the children. I give my time and go and help with all of the children, and I love it. Like, I love all the kids. So, yes, knowing that you want to get married and seeing all your friends get married and everything, and it's like you want it too, but also there's that support element because we're friends. I'm not going to be hating on you or be mad at you. I celebrate with you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, children, marriage, all of the things.
That's good. That's good. And I hope some young people that are not married, some single people, are taking some notes here. So a way that one of the things that I'm hearing that helped you is to just be involved in their lives, as giving them space for one thing, celebrating the fact that your friends were married, and thirdly, once they started having children, just being involved in the children's life. That's good. Excuse me. Do you guys want to weigh in, either Sheba or Latoya, from the other perspective of that? Watching her not married, but you guys were married. How you want to weigh in on that?
I I mean, I just need, I knew it took them long enough to get married. I was just too happy when I heard that she was getting married. I was really excited. Because I'm like, oh yay, no more bridesmaids dresses for you,
27 dresses.
Yeah, to be exact.
27?
No,
There's a
not literally.
movie called like
Oh.
27.
Yes, the
I
movie,
do have a lot, but
yeah,
yeah.
she does have a lot. But I mean, and then I mean, for me, I felt like, in a way, I was happy for her, but at the same time, I'm like, geez, she's not single anymore. Now here go another person. He better not break her heart, because I'm gonna have to put him on my list. Huh?
The
Yeah.
fighter, the protector. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
the first thing she goes to.
I sure did. I was like, he better not mess with her.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit to something that you guys said in the beginning that was central. Now, you all said that you intersected at church.
Yes.
So the question is, I'm acting like I don't know, because I don't know the audience, everyone that's on right now. So are all of you Christians?
Yes.
Latoya and I, yes. No, I'm joking.
You see them next there?
I'm joking. I'm joking. Yes, y'all are.
All righty. How has your faith played a role in your friendship? Oh, has it? Has faith played a role in your friendship?
I would say yes, because in a friendship, you have to encourage if someone is down. And I feel like having faith in God and knowing like this is what we believe, this is what we stand on. If something is looking a certain way, it's just a matter of like bringing it back to the center of what we believe and how we believe.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it played a role, because when with any one of them, they're going through something. I know how to pray. All that's faith based, and I know how I pray for them. I know how to pray for them. Whatever it is. So definitely, I think so.
That's good.
Yeah, prayer is something important.
I just wanted to. I think you guys could see the comments, right?
No,
Oh, you
No.
can't. Okay, I gotta fix that. But I just saw Aunt Marcia saying, realizing all
Oh
these
yes, I can.
aspects. Oh, you
Yeah.
can see that. Yeah,
I
I
can't.
know. A
Comment
bit.
section.
Huh?
Realizing all these aspects of each other, I think a book should be in the making. So
Ooh.
she's throwing that out at you guys. That's at Marcia. Um, Hi Jackie, Gail, beloved B, all the names I didn't get to see or talk to earlier. So there's one question I have for you again, going back. I've heard, or we've all heard about your coming together, the intersecting of faith, school, and home, all of that. What is one
Sorry.
thing? Oh,
Elise
yeah,
comment.
what is
Maybe
one
it was good that we would see the comment.
or some things that is common between all of you?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
One thing or some things that's common between all of you. We've listed some of your differences, but what's common between all of you? Some things or one thing.
We all Bajan.
She was ridiculous.
Sorry.
You guys gotta know the reason why I put my hand over my mouth is because one of them is actually not a Bajan, but there's a joke behind that too. But yeah.
Woo-wee.
So Melissa's Jamaican,
Mhm.
born and raised. However, she's become Bajan by association.
Yes.
I
And
was
you
I
let
was
her go.
not born because my mother will tell me that I'm an American. I was born here, although I was raised in a Bajan household and all aspects of that. So yeah. And Sheba clearly was born and raised in Barbados and still
Baby
lives
to the
here.
world.
So we're all West Indian descent.
Don't let me get my flag. Don't let me get my flag.
Okay. Vision to the world, right?
Baby to the world.
Okay.
We all want to be mothers.
Yes.
We all want to, obviously, Sheba and I have had children. Melissa wants children as well.
And we want children for her. We want her to, yes.
Yes, we want little babies. At least I want little babies to take care of and to give back. I don't
Right.
want it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Those are the only two I can think of at this very.
Actually, you hit on the one thing that I wanted to jump on really quickly. So
Uh,
you guys are from the Caribbean. Now it is said, right, that West Indians or Caribbean people, we are not that emotional in terms of expressing our feelings. So this dynamic in your friendship, I'm curious, how do you deal with matters of the heart? Like, do you talk about those things openly, like you sit and talk about them, or is it easy for you to talk about those things, or is it hard, coming from a West Indian background? And also, like, is it easy to compliment each other, things like that? Give me some feedback.
Oh, the compliments are easy.
Hmm.
I mean, that's a given because we all queens, so we gotta let each other know when we fly and when we not fly.
Right.
For a moment when we not fly, because I mean it is what it is. But as far as being transparent or whatever you just said, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
I think I try to play hard. But
when you say play hard, you mean just be tough, like this?
Yes, like I'm the protector. I'm the one that's the tough one.
Mm-hmm, the fighter.
But some things I think Toya's heard quite a bit of
everything.
Yeah, pretty much everything. I mean, and I will bring up one point. There is I won't be too clear on this, but there was one time in my life where I tried to not say anything. And it's specifically to Latoya, but at the end of the day, it was like, okay, I ended up having to tell her what it was anyway that was going on.
Mhm.
Look at her face. Fix your face.
It was definitely one annoyance in our relationship. Like I was like wanting to, it was very frustrating. Mm-hmm.
Yes, because she would know. And the thing is that she would know that something's going on or have an idea, but she wouldn't say anything. Typical Latoya, because she always says, well, she'll come around. Always. So, but since that, or I think before that, I've been pretty, I feel like it's easy for me to bring up matters of the heart. And I mean, Melissa, sometimes in conversation, I'm able to bring them up. It depends on the conversation,
Okay.
For me, I don't know if I guess I don't know. Like if I think I'm honest in our relationship when it comes to us talking and stuff. I don't know if matters of the heart I share as often. I don't know if I share things that probably bother me more so than things that might break me. And if I am broken in some way, I think I come back after I've had my own revelation of some sort to be able to use that to say, in this experience or in my experience, this is what I've done, or this is what I'm going through, or I went through, I should say. It's never at that moment that I'm broken that I would probably share at that very moment. Like if Sheba happens to be in the middle of me and my husband going at something, some kind of topic or something, then we'll deal with that accordingly. But I think sometimes for me, it's I wait. And I think it's just because my personality as a whole is I'm a processor and I need to process that through and I need to work it through before it can even come forth. And I think that might have also started from myself because I was married first and, trying to figure out what's acceptable, what should you share, what should you not share, because also talking about going back to what you're talking about being Caribbean, and in a Caribbean church, you learn you're not supposed to share. People are not supposed to be in your marriage and they're not supposed to do this. And you learn that's a bunch of nonsense because you still need your confidants to be able to sometimes help you through that process. Because again, you might be going through something that the other one might be able to support you with. And it's stupid to sit here and pretend as everything is perfect and it's all going great. You're dying inside and you're not sharing it, and someone can be able to support you and uplift you in that situation. So it's so getting back to kind of the question, for me, I don't think, I think our West Indian background didn't necessarily have to it didn't necessarily stop us from sharing, but I think we as just people and trying to kind of figure ourselves out, figure out the situation. Should I share? Should I not share? Kind of was really, or is kind of that situation. But for the most part, I always use my situations to kind of help whoever the one of them is.
That she does. That she does. But I mean, Tori, you've opened up at least once.
God, but that's really bad though. Once.
I mean, you're making it seem as though not at all. I feel like you've. Okay, fine. I'll give you more than one.
But I feel like I don't do it like right in the midst of it. Like I don't always say it right in the midst of it. I feel like I share at the end of it, or like when I am like a hot fat mess, or I feel like it has to get me to anger. Like I will get angry.
I was gonna say there's a time where you'd be angry. You'd be like, you'll just spit it out like I don't, and I don't care.
Yeah. It's never like I'm at the brink of tears. I never share at the brink of tears, probably. I feel like it's always anger that I share.
Yes.
I'm going to come to Melissa to answer that question in a second, but I'm wondering, because I've heard Sheba's response and yours, and I'm wondering if that is from, and again, weigh in, from your roles in the group. So you are referred to as the mama bear, and you are like the person who, it's like in the case of a mother, the mothers don't usually tell their children all that. They're like, okay,
I need to have it all together.
Right, for everybody. And then you shared from your aspect of the protector, the fighter. I don't necessarily want to show my emotions because I got to be tough, I got to be strong. So do
Yeah,
you think it's coming from your roles within the group, that particular?
definitely.
Okay, all right, cool. Melissa.
Okay. So definitely growing up West Indian, you don't talk about anything really. Our
Mm,
parents didn't necessarily talk about things as much as we all know. So coming down to us now, it's just like, shoo shoo, we don't want to hear what you have to say. Or, as a kid, like what you have to say is not as important. Or you don't talk about serious matters or matters of the heart. Like they don't do that. So as a product of that, it's not always easy
Yeah.
to talk about that. I personally, I know I am shut down queen, and it takes me a while to process and um to think about, to ponder, to talk in my head, to talk to everybody else in my head before I can actually come out and say something. So it will take me a little bit longer. But I feel like knowing the past, that's one thing I always strive for, is don't repeat that. So now it's like, okay, try to talk about whatever it is that hurts, or, and I just, like, for me, I know I need a little bit of time, but I do eventually come around and say something, or I will like quickly call Toya and be like, Toy X, Y, and Z. And like she said, like whatever situations she's had, she can always give advice based on her situation, her perspective, and whatever it is that you're going through.
mhm.
So yeah, Toya's the one that usually I go to. I will talk to Sheba as well, but Toya, I always go to Toya.
She's usually the first one.
Always. Yeah, it's Toya. Like, because she's going to tell you what it is. She's not going to try to sugarcoat it. She's just going to be like, all right, you need to get it together. This is what you need to do, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And then she has that also, that soft and warm side of her too. She's not going to just like slam you while you're down. She's always going to try to help you first, talk it through, and come to a conclusion. But like,
Yeah.
Latoya is the one that we just go to. So yeah.
Yes.
It's good to talk about matters of the heart, especially growing up West Indian, and try to break that cycle and not have our children do the same thing, and try to kind of be like more open so that children can see that it is okay to talk about things and not just sweep things under the rug, because that's
Yes.
not healthy. It doesn't
Yeah.
make a healthy adult.
That's good. That's good. And it's like Aunt Marcia said, the older generation was not open, but this generation is of a different caliber, quite transparent. So it's good that you guys are breaking the cycle,
Yeah.
and what I'm hearing is that you recognize it. You're able to see what that pattern is and was, and you are being intentional about breaking those cycles. So it's really good to hear your perspective and how you are walking through that. You're not all perfect in the way that you're doing it, but at least to be able to recognize it, know your role, know what you're doing in the midst of the relationship, but at least you are, excuse me, working towards making the amends and doing much better and creating a way and a path for the generations behind you to do better. So that's really, really good. I'm loving this conversation, by the way. And we are kind of closing things down, but if you were not here at the beginning of this conversation, I made an appeal then about a young woman with her family. Can we go longer, please? This is good. We gotta get out of here at 9 o'clock. But I made an appeal earlier about a family, one young woman that I know. She's a friend and a colleague, just diagnosed with cancer, but just had surgery, lost her job, has a large family, and I want to be able to support her, and I am supporting her. But I also wanted to, on this forum, since we are here tonight, allow you guys, if you want to. This money is not coming to me, not to me at all, but to this woman that I wanted to remain anonymous, but at least give people the opportunity. So her Cash App information is going to be in the comments. I have a couple of people who's going to put that information there, and it's right there. God bless you, 71. So if you don't mind being a blessing to that family, She no longer has her job. We in COVID-19, and she's dealing with all the back stuff that needs to happen. So if you don't mind, be a blessing to her, please. But as we kind of wind things down, I wanted to ask your opinion on this. Actually, let me transition to some fun questions. Let me do that. Um,
Oh boy.
Shiva,
Oh dear.
don't even think too long about it. Just answer straight away. First five songs and artists in your playlist.
Oh.
Do that to me.
Which
I just
playlist?
sat here and said I'm a Christian. You know the first five of soca songs.
It's okay. It's okay.
Alison Hines, Edwin Yearwood, Taurus Riley.
You have to give the songs, and if we don't know the songs, then you give the artists as well. But the first five songs and artists in your playlist. Go.
Oh, in my playlist? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, the Alison Hines, I don't know about the first five, but the ones I could think of. I'm a West Indian. That's one of the last ones that Alison Hines did. Taurus Riley, she's royal. Miranda Curtis. What was that song? Open Heaven, is it the one? Open, yeah, that one. What's that? Number 3. How many more you need?
2 more.
5. Hello.
2. Oh, 5. Okay. What did I just say? I lost my.
Sometimes I'm a West Indian.
Yes.
She's
royal. Miranda Curtis. Okay. Ty Trebet, stand out. And last one, last one. Just because of the season, Dolly Parton. I'll be home for Christmas.
Okay.
Sorry, with bells on. With bells on. With bells on.
She been Dolly Parton in Christmas. It's team too much. It's team too much. Like, why?
Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers? Yes. Life.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Melissa, first job or worst job, and what did you do?
First job, daycare, helper, assistant, teacher. Worst job?
No, it's either or.
Oh, either or. Okay, so yes, first job, daycare.
Okay. Latoya, eat and chew up your bones or eat fish head? Which one?
Eat and chew up my bones.
Yeah.
Eat and chew up your bones.
Yes.
Okay.
So bones especially.
Melissa, the craziest thing you've heard from your West Indian parent?
Oh gosh.
Say it. Say it.
The craziest thing?
Mm-hmm.
Your mother says a lot of crazy
A
stuff.
lot of crazy things. I was about to say, come on, you know, Miss Vernon. All kind of Jamaican sayings that she always throwing around.
I don't even. Oh God. Well, okay. One thing that I've heard all of them say is the one that says the little pig asked the mother, "Why your snout so big?" And they said, "I come you up."
Can you say it the way that they say it, and then we can interpret it?
That was it.
They don't say it nicely.
Pig asks your mother, "Mommy, why your nose so big?" And they say, "I come you come."
All right. Oh, somebody said, "Hi, Angelique. We are not the same size."
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Latoya, favorite smell and why?
I like fruit scents, like fruits. The first one that comes to mind that I'm always okay with is peach. So why? It just makes me feel like, you know, think about a fresh peach in your mouth. You know, yum, fresh cold peach in your mouth. I don't know.
If you had to be named after a food, what would you be called?
Oh, geez. I know.
Good night, Annette.
Hi, Annette. If I have to be named after a food, what would I be called?
A sweet treat. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
You know, like how Melissa loves chicken. We could call her a chicken. Like we're just a chicken, and she will turn around and answer.
Cluck cluck, right?
Huh?
I say, yeah, she'll turn around and go cluck cluck. Well, it would be candy because I love sweets.
Okay. Melissa, Hawaii or Jamaica?
Hawaii.
So you going? Oh wow, you just.
The way she said that.
I'm
not even Jamaican, and I feel some type of way. But carry on.
That's what I'm saying. Like you put Hawaii above
you just. Am I going to visit or to live? What is it like? I've always wanted to go visit Hawaii, so
yeah,
I've been to Jamaica many times.
Okay, you good. You good.
Grapefruit. Sorry. Comment.
Victoria, first boy crush.
The farthest I can go is the 3rd grade, and his name was Christopher.
What did you like about Christopher?
Honestly, now I think about it, I don't know. In the classroom, I don't know. Light skinned, little high top. You know, I had a light skin.
Them light skin ones. Them little light skin ones.
Yeah, I had a light skin complex.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna get into that one. Sheba, finally. Soccer or cricket?
Soccer.
Why?
Well, football. That's really
okay.
Because the hand-eye coordination when it comes to cricket, I would never make it.
Okay. Melissa, somebody said the reason why you chose Hawaii over Jamaica is because you're not Jamaican.
And earlier, she pointed out earlier that I'm West Indian. So yes, I like variety. Thank you.
Okay, so we are winding down and getting ready to close, but I wanted to ask anyone who is looking at this, if you had a question for any of the ladies or for all of them, this is your time. Type really fast. Even if you have typos, we'll understand it, but drop your question really quickly in the comment and I'll get it out to them because we are getting ready to wrap things up. But ladies, it's been a treat hanging out with you tonight. You made us laugh, you made us think, you made us ponder, you made us look at ourselves, you made us question some things. And we are just delighted that you were here tonight and gave of your time. All of you are married, and I know both of you, Latoya and Sheba, have your children, and we were hoping that you didn't lock them in a refrigerator or cupboard somewhere.
That's still the case. That's pretty.
Holding it down, so that is good. Angelique asked, how did you guys know you were going to be longtime friends? That's a good question.
We didn't.
We had no idea.
You didn't know. Okay.
No idea.
How do you balance friendships outside of your best friendship?
That's a good
That is great, Diane. How do you balance friendships outside of your best?
Let's see what answer.
Yeah.
Well, it's only one thing, best friend. That's it. Bam.
Done so.
Yeah.
But for me, I think there's enough room for everybody to be friends. Like I am that person who would have multiple different friends. Sheba, not so much. Sheba will have her associates about, and that's kind of how she plays it. But the one in the core, don't play with that one. But for me, it's like, you know, I could be friends with multiple different people. But Sheba's still the protector still at the end of the day. It doesn't even make a difference. Like I don't even need to jump or be concerned because she will question them and she will find out about what their motives are and why they're here and who they are. And she will tell after she likes you or not. And that's what that is. So if you're concerned about Sheba ever being, scaring somebody away, don't bring them around sheeps. That's what it is. Bottom line.
I keep it like real.
Like, and really quick, because I know we're running out of time. Like, I remember wanting to let Sheba and Melissa meet Justin for the first time, and I was like horrified. Like, I was so scared to bring him around her because I knew that she was going to cut the fool and ask him 50 million questions and just make him completely uncomfortable and all of that. So, you know, Sheba is that person.
And Justin is your husband for the viewers.
He made it. Yeah.
And for that reason, I'm glad that she knew my husband before we were married, because then I don't have to go through all of that. And still, as you heard her say, she'll still cut him. So yeah.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Okay.
Right.
Family first, and y'all not just friends, y'all are family. So
Right. Can I just say real quick, like
Sure.
for that question about balancing, yes, like Latoya said, you have your core friends, and I have 2 other friends that I've been friends with for like over 20 years as well.
Right.
So, but it really is a balance. Like, you know, everyone doesn't have the same kind of a relationship. Like, I can talk to them every day and it's fine. My other friends, I talk to one of them just about every day as well. One of them I don't talk to as much, but it's like, that's still my sister. And when we come together, you know, we talk like it's nothing, like we weren't apart for a while. So it's just really about how you as an individual balance the people around you and how you make them feel.
That's good. That's great. All right. This has been such a wonderful conversation, such a great time hanging out with you again. Thank you once more. Please tell your husbands thank you for sharing you with us for this 1.5 hours, because we were hanging out a little bit before our going live. But thanks again, and give them a kiss from all of us, and we appreciate you all. So let's really pray really quickly, and thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope you get to pass this along and share it with others to look at the replay, but let us go ahead and pray. Father, we just thank you tonight so very much for being in the midst of us and for directing this discussion. Father, we just thank you even now for friendships, relationships all around the world, that you will move in the midst, oh God, of our relationships, and help us to know, Father, that we are not alone, that there are others who are there, God, that you have ordained so that we can have support, and also that we can support each other. Thank you, Father God, for the blessing that you are to us and helping us to navigate through life with the people that you have put in the midst of us. Let your kingdom come and your will be done, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. All right.
Angela, before you end, Elisa, she's commenting on, do we remember the conference? Are we allowed to answer that question before we end?
Sure. Yeah, really quickly.
I'm assuming, Lisa, you're talking about Georgia when we all
oh my gosh.
Is that what you're talking about?
Those were great times.
Awesome times.
Yeah, this is
I think those are all etched in our memory, at least mine, right?
Yeah.
And that was actually a big group of us. That was like the other part of the group that we're not as connected to as much. But yeah, I definitely remember. And someone the other day had brought up on Facebook about our parking lot
experience.
If they remember, and I was like, how can we forget? Like,
how can you forget?
That is probably a huge component of our spiritual growth. That was like a turning point, I think, for all of us at that very, very, very moment. Like, never forget, ever.
But see, we're having all this discussion about conferences and parking lot experience, and people don't know a thing.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
So,
this is probably why we need a part 2.
Jackie, please do a part 2. So we'll hook that up. All right. Well, it's time. We're over our time by a minute, so we got to get out of here. But thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful night. And what did you say?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's so good to have you. We'll work it out, the part 2. All right, love you. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.